This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is STARCAST, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hello and welcome to STARCAST, your official podcast for the Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars. Back with another episode to talk all things for the Big Red Machine. No guests this week. Couldn't find any more goalies to talk to, so it's just the classic three grumpy Northerners. Delighted to be joined by Carol and Jono. Carol, our Stars media team, and Jono, who is our equipment supremo, stick to the pod and supporters club chair. Plenty more titles, I'm sure we can fit in before the end of the season. Evening to you both. How's things this evening?
All good.
Grumpy as ever.
Proud, loud and proud, and grumpy as a northern. That's
grumpy.
That's the brand. So we just have the one game from the weekend for your Billingham Stars to talk about. We'll go over the results and tables around the NIHL North Division 1 as things are starting to take shape in the division. And then we look ahead to another double weekend, an away trip to the Chip Spice Arena and the return to Billingham of the Solihull Barons. So plenty to go on. We'll get straight into it. It was a Saturday. It was an early start, a lunchtime face-off at the Bauer Arena at Sheffield. And your Stars travelled to take on the Sheffield Scimitars, second trip to Sheffield for the season, and running out 6-1 winners at Bauer Arena, as we say. Alex Preston, Michael Elder, Ian Brown, Rollins Grittans, Ian Brown and Rollins Grittans again. Just a single goal from Sheffield from Simon Williams. Excuse me. Jacob took the net, 19 shots, just the one goal, and split shifts from the Sheffield Scimitars. Nick Winters started off doing Nick Winters things, but finally gave up after 2 periods, 40 shots after 2 periods. And then Hayden Oates took over for period 3. There's 19 shots in the third period, just the 1 goal on him. So plenty going on stats-wise. But Carol, in terms of the early start, quite a flat game, all told, but Billingham got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to feel sorry for Sheffield. That's 15 straight defeats this season. And I think on Saturday you can see why they're in the position that they're in. It's quite difficult sometimes to play teams like that. You find yourself maybe dropping to their level. And I think possibly Billingham were guilty of that in the third period. First 2 periods, though, Nick Winters doing Nick Winters things and plucking everything out of the air and generally playing the game he usually plays against us, which is unbeatable at times. He faced 23 shots in the first period, and we peppered him until we finally got on the score sheet. So, it's a hard game to describe because you don't really want to be too dismissive of the opposition, but it was kind of it's about as close as we're going to get to a gimme on Saturday. There was literally no danger of us losing that game. Their 1 goal, by the way, was a classic counter-attack move and really nicely finished. But other than that, they posed very little threat up front. There was times in the third period looked like a training session. It's difficult to be overly enthusiastic about it. A win's a win. Rowley got his scoring stick back. Well, apparently it was a new stick, so he's bought himself a scoring stick. There are positives to take, but as far as the quality of the game goes, definitely not the best we're going to see this season.
Yeah. Games like that, John, like you say, you've got to take the points and get out of Dodge after a ridiculous 8:00 meet at the rink. To leave at 8:30 on a Saturday shouldn't be allowed, but it did. The boys got there. Took us, as Carol said, Nick Winters doing his things at the start. Took us 13 minutes to find the net, but that was once we broke the barrier, it was kind of game over.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the earliest starts I've ever had for a hockey game. I think I don't even get up that early to go to Coventry for a national final. But yeah, an early start. I think that showed in the first probably 5-6 minutes of the game, to be honest. We weren't really on it. I think the legs were still in bed for some of the lads. But yeah, I think we killed the penalty, and I think we killed it very well. It was quite a dominating kill, to be honest. I don't think they got any shots on goal or anything like that. And then we kind of grew from it. The passing became crisper. Yeah, tough game, as Carl says. You don't want to beat down on a team that's is 0-15, but they're there for a reason. I think we probably thought they might have been a bit more difficult after a surprise, well, even though a loss, a surprise result last week against Blackburn, where I think they only lost by 2 or 3, but scored the amount that they did. But no. But then from our point of view, I think we still have stuff to learn and partnerships to create. And the two Lucases seem to have hit the ground running, and it was good to see that their relationship's developing. And even the new lines, you could see some of the patterns starting to develop, and the passing was starting to hit the tape. It wasn't becoming as forced as it has been in previous weeks. But yeah, and then obviously you come up against Nick Winters. I think it's kind of becoming the norm for him. He stands on his head for 40 minutes, and I don't think he can give any more after that. He's absolutely goosed, and he's rested for the third. But yeah, we broke him down eventually. Got some nice goals. Bit unfortunate to concede the way we did. I think Darren jumped up on the player, probably should have scored. I think their netminder was sprawled across the ice. He had a big gap and all to aim for, missed it, and they turned it around quite quickly, and it was quite a nice goal in the end. I think their forward took it out of the air, to be fair. But yeah, nice goal on the break for them. But other than that, as Carl said, I think even if we wanted to and we stepped it up, it could have been comical at times, but we did enough. We've got the win, and home at a good hour as well.
It was finished just after 3:00. The final buzzer went, which was remarkable for a Saturday, getting back in the daytime. Only just, but still in the daytime. As Jono said, Carol, the partnerships, the new lines, the defense, everybody seemed to have a turn on D at the weekend as well. Particularly the forward lines, the tweak that was made last weekend is persisting. So those new lines are still bedding in, and there are good signs there.
Oh, definitely, and it was good that Rowley's finally got the monkey off his back, as it were, because he was starting to look very snake bitten in front of goal. But he's as it should be, I think. The first one he got was really scruffy, and it's one of those where you go, right, well, he's just scored, that'll be it now. And sure enough, he got another one pretty quickly after that. The line actually that I enjoyed watching the most when it was on, because there was tweaks during the game as well, was the two Lucases when they were on with Sam. Because I tell you what, that might be the fastest line in the league. It just got pace, speed, the afterburners on all three of them. That's going to scare the living bejesus out of some defences this season. I thought they were a real joy to watch, to be quite honest.
And Lucas Campion is getting closer. You can feel that he's going to the right place. He's going to the net. He's going to where the action is. He's battling in the corners, as safe, working for his line. That goal's going to come sooner rather than later.
Absolutely, he's very, very much settled in. Apparently, he's got a party trick that Jono might be able to tell us about later on. But he's settled in no time, which I guess you can expect, because he did play an awful lot of his junior career with us. So it's not like he's a stranger, but it feels like he's been here forever already. And that line is going to cause some problems for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else, Jono, from Saturday?
Yeah, just more on Lucas. I think you can see he's probably grabbing the stick a bit tighter, desperate for that first goal. to impress his new fans and his new coaches and stuff. But he's fitting straight with the lads. They've made him feel at home straight away. Like you say, he does have a party trick. I hope we never get to see it on the ice because that'd be even more scary. But yeah, he showed off a backflip on Saturday night, which I think probably had Fuzzy's heart in his mouth, saying, I hope he lands on both feet. But yeah, quite impressive from the young lad. But yeah, I hope we never see it on the ice, to be honest.
Yeah, no, good signs from the guys, from the job done, back on the bus. The work done at a decent time. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and get ready for the weekend ahead. Just a couple of the things that we've already touched about. Sheffield, 0-15 at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, first thing to say is Orange doesn't look right.
No,
I know Thor said it, but it just didn't look right. But that's a higher power. We can't argue against that. But yeah, a big job for their coaches to keep the guys going, and they will upset a team somewhere because it's happened in the league many a time. We've got the job done twice in Sheffield now, so it's not going to be us down at Bauer Arena, but they will do it to somebody. And as John said, they scored 6 on Blackburn last week, so they will do it to some team, and you just don't want it to be you.
I don't know. When I watched it on Saturday, I did actually start thinking, where are they going to get a result? Because I like I say, I don't want to sort of beat down on them too hard, but I don't know where that win comes from. They're going to have to come up again. They're going to have to play very well against somebody at the same time as that somebody has an off game for me. I just don't see where they get a result. It's just it's hard times for them at the minute. But hopefully they can turn a corner. Maybe something just needs to change there with in terms of lines or whatever. Maybe they just need a bit of a change to the chemistry and something will click. But at the minute, I just can't see where they're going to start picking anything up.
No. What about you, Jono?
Yeah, I don't know what purpose they're serving at the moment. I know they're there for the development of having an age group or a team at every level, but there's having a team at every level and then there's just a team that's getting beat on every week. It doesn't look like they're progressing. I'm going to jump down the throats and say they're terrible and should be in Division 2. But the Titans have done something, they've changed something, and they're battling hard at the top of Division 2 now. And I think if those kids want a serious career in hockey and be the next one up for the Steel Dogs, something has to happen and very, very fast, because those people at the Steel Dogs and the management must be looking down going, who do we pick from that roster? Who's given us who's standing out? Because there was players not even standing out. I'm not going to name names. One or two of them do train up and play Steel Dogs, but you've never have noticed it because we're going through the motions. It's like they didn't want to be there. They had better places to be. Whether that's because they do train and play Steel Dogs, I don't know. But it's certainly not the right attitude to have.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on Sheffield as they go on through the season. Finally, a word about the travelling fans as well. I know we said it was one of our closest, maybe it's not the closest, one of our closest away trips. But an early start on a Saturday morning, but the stands were fairly full of the Big Red Machine down on Saturday, Jono and Carol, and that must have been great for yourselves and for the team as well on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably one of the biggest improvements we've seen over the last 18 months is that away following, and it doesn't kind of matter where it is or what time it is. The fans will just be there, whether it's just for a hockey fix or whether they know that they can get a good early game of hockey in and then they can go off and do something with the missus on the afternoon and keep her happy as well. But no, the fans seem to be travelling in numbers, whether it's home, away, 5 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock. They just seem to be there travelling and supporting the team, and the lads will only ever be grateful for it.
Yeah. Well, Carl, some familiar faces, but some people, obviously we have Billingham fans who aren't based in Billingham, so they travel from further afield as well. So Sheffield was maybe a home game for a couple of people as well.
Yes, it's great actually, because you do start to see the same faces travelling. which I think we had this conversation on the podcast last year about looking around and going, who are these people? I've never seen them before, but everybody's become kind of regulars now. And it's quite a little travelling community almost. And I think the early face-off on Saturday did help. There was a few people there who possibly don't travel quite so much. But then you've got the draw of Meadowhall next door and Centre Point, and I know you're shaking your head. I'd be shaking my head as well, but there's some weird people out there who like shopping, and they'll take the opportunity.
Craig already went for the shopping.
Why would I leave? Why would I leave where there's Metro Centre to go somewhere where there's a bigger Yorkshire Metro Centre? Why would I do that?
Billingham people tend not to go to the Metro Centre because it's a nightmare to get up the A1. So yeah, there was a bit of a draw there to go down to Sheffield, take the chance to do a bit of shopping, do a bit of mooching around Centre Point, maybe. Oh God, there might even be some even weirder people who went to IKEA, but they're just beyond weird for me. But yeah, it was a great travelling contingent, and it is kind of becoming a little bit of a tribe of people who go now, which is brilliant. It's really good to see.
Yeah, more travelling to come this Saturday, which we'll talk about very shortly, with some of our favourite fast food accompaniments as well. We'll talk about that soon, but for now we'll leave Sheffield there. As I say, a 6-1 win for your Billingham Stars. Points in the bag and back up the road in good time on a Saturday afternoon. We'll have a look at the results and tables from the NIHL North Division 1, courtesy of our friend Joe Scott's NIHL Stats. We'll go through them, do the tables, do the scores, and then have a talk about a couple of games before we take our break and come back with next week's preview. So we'll start on Saturday. I say first game, Sheffield 1, Billingham 6, as we said. Hull Jets 5, Telford Tigers 2 at the chipspice.com arena. Blackburn, their first of their doubleheader with the Teesside Dragons on Saturday went the way of the Hawks, 8-4. That one there. And then also on Saturday, the later game, Leeds Knights 4, Solihull Barons 9. That was that one. And then on Sunday, the return game, Teesside Dragons 3, Blackburn Hawks 2. That was in North Wales. Solihull 11, Telford Tigers 4. A bit of a Midlands Black Country derby affair. Plenty of goals there in that one. Widnes Wild 1, Hull Jets 6. And the late one was the Nottingham Lions 6, Leeds Knights 3. So plenty of goals around, and what it means in the league tables. He says, scrolling quickly to the top of the bit of paper. So the league, after the games on yesterday, November the 9th, Solihull still top, 34 points from their 12 games, 11 wins and just one overtime loss. So they've only dropped the 1 point. Blackburn, their second, 30 points from their 12 games, 10 wins and 2 losses. Then it goes Teesside, 26 from 14. Telford have 21 points from 11. Your Billingham Stars also 21 points from 11, 7 wins and 4 defeats. Hull Jets, 20 points from 12 games. Widnes, 16 from 14. Nottingham have the final playoff spot at the moment, 12 points from 13 games, just ahead of Leeds Knights on head-to-head. That's 12 points from 14 games. And as we said, Sheffield, 15 winless games so far. Cup tables we'll leave till next week, as if there's no real cup games coming up, so we'll do them after next weekend. But yeah, plenty of goals, plenty of games to talk about. Miss Carol, where would you like to begin?
I tell you what, I'll let Jono talk about Blackburn, because that's the obvious place to go. Blackburn, Teesside, home and home, Teesside way. I'm going to pick up Hull, who had a great weekend. Coming into form just before they play us, obviously. So they got the win over Telford quite comfortably on Saturday, and then quite surprisingly for me, 6-1 over Widnes in Widnes. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I expected that one. Possibly would have gone for Hull for the win, but not by 5. I think after Luca was on such a high last week, getting his shutout, I think he's probably going to be a bit peeved with that one. I think Hull have woken up. Aidan Dancer seems to have made a quite a big effect already. I think they've turned, because early on in the season they looked a little bit out of sorts, but they seem to have turned a corner. I think this weekend might be pivotal for them. Those are two excellent results, and the ones to watch out for. And obviously they're playing us next, so there's kind of sod's law right there. But I picking out Hull, and also just a nod to look at Telford's results, because they were on the road all weekend, and they're probably going to be very disappointed with both of those results. Hull, as I said, on Saturday, and then getting smacked about by Solihull on Sunday, just to round the weekend off. Not the best of ones for Telford.
So basically what I've seen is the two teams that we play this weekend are the really informed ones.
Yes.
Super. Fantastic. Jono, the Northwest-ish home and home, what was your thoughts? Blackburn, Teesside,
I think the first game went as anyone would expect, but then I think the weekend went as Teesside weekends went. They lose away from home and then they win at home. I think that's kind of how they're doing things in these home and homes. They have nothing on the road and then taking the win on the road. I mean, I'm going to say it probably was a shock result even on the Sunday. I think the Hawks would be probably licking the wounds a bit, thinking, are we letting one slip here? The Barons just look unstoppable at the moment, and you can't really see where they're going to lose their next game. Everyone will be having their fingers crossed it will be this Sunday. But obviously, we all know what they did last time they came to the Forum. Let's just hope we don't have another one of those performances. But as the league are looking in, it looks like a fantastic league. If somehow Stars can get 6 points this weekend, and Teesside can get a couple of wins, it punches us all much closer together, and it could make it very, very interesting. But at the moment, I think the Hawks will be kicking themselves, letting 3 points go against a nearest rival as well, especially when you look at what Teesside have done this year. I mean, they conceded a lot of goals. They still haven't fixed that defence and the goalie issues that they've got, even though they've brought new players in, they still seem to be conceding a lot. Whether it was just the firepower didn't happen, or Tyler Delabatouche actually had a night to remember. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting season, I think. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the box scores from the two games. So Tyler Delabatouche, like you say, the big goalie recruit that Teesside made, 8 goals on 46 shots on Saturday in Blackburn. And then the night after in Teesside, just 2 goals on 32 shots. Harrison Walker had 3 on 32 at the other end. And Sunday it was 3-0 Teesside. They were coasting. Blackburn scored 2 in late on. Bit of a squeaky bum time, but Teesside managed to hang on and take the regulation win. So yeah, and that, like you say, I think we've said a couple of times on that, the Teesside seem to be favouring these home and homes, and they do the home very well, but they don't do the away very well. So they might want to rethink that strategy for next time. But the home and homes are great. I say it's good for rivalry and things like that. You get the fans travelling both ways, and we'll see what happens when we have our home and home with them in March, last weekend of the season.
Yeah, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. But plenty going on in division. As I say, possibly, like you say, Sheffield aside. I mean, let's say Leeds Knights are second bottom with 12 points. They've won 4 games, so it is another competitive division. I say with possibly one exception. So we'll see what happens as the things go on. Fixture-wise, weekend ahead. I say we'll talk about Billingham's fixtures in more detail in a moment. But on Saturday in the league, it's Hull versus Billingham. In the League and Cup, it's Blackburn versus Telford. In the league, Solihull, Nottingham. And in the league, Sheffield versus Teesside. And then Sunday's fixtures. Sorry? Oh, I'm hearing things. Sunday in the league, Billingham versus Solihull. In the Cup, Nottingham versus Blackburn. And Telford versus Sheffield in the league. And Leeds versus Hull rounds things off at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. That's not That's not good. That shouldn't happen, but there you go. It does. So yeah, plenty going on. We'll talk about it in more detail. Your Billingham Stars, say away to Hull, at home to Solihull. We'll talk about it here on STARCAST. We'll be back after this break.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to STARCAST, your official podcast from the Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars. 2 games this weekend for the Big Red Machine. They're in Hull on Saturday night at the chipspice.com arena against the Hull Jets, and then a home fixture on Sunday back at the Forum Ice Arena. Solihull Barons make a quick return after their big win just a couple of weeks or so ago. So business to attend to on both days. We'll start on Saturday. As Carol said in the roundup there, Hull coming into form just at the right time or wrong time, depending on your point of view. We've, on most occasions, enjoyed our trips to Hull Arena, the world's most versatile arena. But with the way things are, Carol, it's going to be a very important game and too close to call it at this time.
Yeah, it's going to depend very much on which version of both teams shows up, because Hull seem to, like I say, they seem to have turned a bit of a corner. They seem to be gelling a lot better than they were, and it's a tough one to call, really, because if you think back to Hull a couple of seasons ago, they were absolutely unstoppable at home. We lost there. Was it the first game of the season as well, or something like that? Yeah. And then we managed to get the win over them to win the title. We've always kind of had really good games there. The only one that didn't go quite so well, I guess, is the cup semi-final from Hull's point of view when we battered them. But that is few and far between as it goes for our visits to Hull. Obviously, we look forward to going there anyway because Chip Spice. I might mention Chip Spice a few times. And in general, it's a nice place to visit. You know, they've got a good thing going with they've got their mascot as well. I don't know if our mascot's travelling this weekend, is he?
Don't know yet.
But it's a good place to go, and it's actually not that far down the road as trips go. It's not the longest. But as far as the game goes, genuinely, got no idea. At this point, I'm chickening out. I'm sitting on the fence. I've got no idea.
John, like I say, Hull in form at the minute. Obviously, they've got the regulars to look out for, like Rich Hagger, Ethan Daintith, and the one of it, as Carol said, the recent addition of Aidan Dancer's kind of set foot and landed with hit the ground running or skating, if you will. He's chipping in, and we had our Nick Winters issue in Sheffield. We always have the Zach Brown issue in Hull. He's always want to stand on his head till you finally get past him. So it's not going to be easy, and we'll have to, cliche coming in, but we'll have to kind of start on time and get the job done if we can.
Yeah, it's going to be one from the first puck drop that the lads will have to be on it. Loads of happy memories there, though. Like I say, we've won big games there, league titles. We've won league titles there, so we know how to win there. We can go there confident. It's an ice pad that we're not to be afraid of. But again, it's one of those. If we have any aspirations to be involved in this title race and keep hold of what we've won this year, we need to start turning our form into some big wins against teams that are in and around us and above us, and that's going to start. It has to start this weekend. So yeah, we'll have to start it on Saturday, and we're good enough. We've got the talent. we always seem to find our scoring sticks against Hull. We did it a few weeks ago at home. I'm sure they probably won't put a performance in that bad again, to be honest, because I think they were very poor at the Forum. But no, I have all the faith, and I think it's a game. I think if we get the win, could turn our season round and get us going.
Yeah, and as we've said, it's another fairly close trip. We'll have the fans there, and they've always travelled to Hull in good numbers. Obviously for the hockey, but also for the Ship's Prize. And it's the way that the team have after the losing streak, they're back on a 3-game winning streak. So to kind of keep that going, the tweaks to the lineup, it's still betting in, but 100% support, 100% effort, and we'll see what happens on Saturday, Carol.
Yeah, it just all comes down to sort of a mindset at the end of the day. We know what it takes to win there. We've done it before in big games, as John has said. Let's just hope that the performance gets the reward it deserves, because we have had a couple of games this season where we perhaps haven't got what we deserve. And as John says, it is about turning performances into points now if we want to stay involved at the top of the table.
Yeah. So that's 5:30 on Saturday. I say the Hull Arena, the world's most versatile arena, home of Chip Spice. And if you don't know where it is, you go down the A1, turn left, and stop before you fall in the Humber. That should get you just about there. No, it's a nice arena to visit. It's always a nice little trip. So well worth a visit if you haven't already been to Hull Arena. So that is Saturday. On Sunday, Solihull Barons, the Inform League leading Solihull Barons. I mean, we're used to having the league leaders play on our ice pad, but it's normally us. So we'll see what it's like when the shoe's on the other foot, as we say. But Solihull, we saw what they did to us in the doubleheader weekend. Is it too simple to say we owe them one, Carol?
No, I'm sure that's in the lads' heads that we do own one massively. And thanks to the fixtures secretary for putting this one in so close after that weekend. It doesn't seem right somehow, but in a way, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe this is the nightmare of that weekend is still fresh in the mind, and maybe it is a bit of a kick if one is needed to say, right, well, we definitely owe these guys, because to say that wasn't our best performance at home anyway, it's a bit of an understatement. So yes, we definitely owe them, but Solihull are, to say they're in form, again, understatement. Our friend Nicholas Sotterson scored 4 on Sunday, so he's back in the groove. Both the Mulcahy's were on the score sheet as well, and I will say it is lovely to see the other brother back, because it's not nice when somebody has to miss so much time being injured. Nobody wants to see that. So it's great that he's back, but bummer, he's back and he's scoring already. So it'd be interesting to see what Solihull do differently with their lines actually now that they have a full complement up front. We'll have to see what happens on Sunday, but I don't know that they're going to be the same lines that we saw a few weeks ago. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm just looking at the scoring summaries from Solihull game against Telford. Mulcahy's were on a line together, shock horror. But they don't appear to be with Otterson. Otterson seems to be keeping his line going. So we'll see what they come up with. I'm just looking at the stats as well. Both Mulcahy's scored, and both scored their first goal. But Dan Mulcahy's got like 123 assists or something. Was that really his first goal of the season? I mean, that's what Joe Scott's stats say, so I'm not going to disagree with Joe Scott's stats, but that seems very odd.
That does seem odd.
Dan Mulcahy scored the second goal on Sunday, which is his first of the season, and then he's added 3 assists, which were assists 21, 22, and 23 of the season. So he's 0 plus 20 heading into the weekend. That seems odd. But anyway, so Phil scored 2 goals, and reverting type, both assisted by Dan Mulcahy, Phil Mulcahy, Dan Mulcahy, Annie Mulcahy. Yeah, the songs, I'm sure. But yeah, I echo that, Carol. Great to see Phil back. It was a terrible injury, as you say, missed an awful lot of time. So from that point of view, great to see him back. Just not just before playing us.
Why did he have to
Next
do
week would have been really good. But you know the way it is. Jono, Solihull. Obviously you were around the bench the last home game, which didn't go well. You'll know the way the guys were feeling, and they'll relish the opportunity to put things right on Sunday.
100%. And I know we shouldn't be asking the lads to look a game ahead or look to the future, but I'm pretty sure after that performance, it'd have been one Mikey went home, circling his calendar and gone, we'll be ready for them next time. And I think the lads will be up for the fight. Obviously, we'll have a tough game the night before. That'll either put fire in our legs, or it could take all the energy of our legs. It could be one of those games against Hull, because they are that sort of team. However, if we turn up and we're on it on Sunday, for one, it's going to be a great game. But two, I think as well, they're probably thinking, I think they'll be thinking, probably don't want to go Billingham this close after going there and putting 7 past them. They were probably wanting us to forget about that and not have it rough, bring up some rough memories. Because we could become one of those teams where teams want to avoid to win that title. And teams will start looking at us like that if we're not in the race. But as I said earlier on, if we get 2 wins today, we're probably going to be right up there and back into the race. It's one of those. So it's a mindset thing. It's how much the lads want it, how much the drive they've got, and we do owe them one. And to be brutal as well, I think we kind of owe the fans one after that game as well. The home crowd, because it wasn't pretty. It was tough going. Again, we couldn't really put our finger on why it happened or what happened. We just know it did happen. And it's time to put a few wrongs right.
Yeah. It was without reeling it again. It was one of those. It was a Saturday. The Borough were on. The crowd was down. The players, for whatever reason, didn't click. And Solihull will probably never have an easier ride in Billingham ever again.
Hope not.
Absolutely hope not.
Yeah. But yeah, so nice to see the Mulcahy's return to full strength, but wish it wasn't this weekend. But nice to see them. But sometimes, careful what you wish for. Anything else on the weekend? Obviously, we'll know obviously when we're training this week. See how the Lions are going, if they're keeping the forwards as they are. Obviously, showing good promise. The third line, as Carol said, with the Lucas line, we just need to find somebody else called Lucas to fill out that line. Solihull have got Lucas Price. So we can see if he wants to Palmo transfer.
Just get Sam and Alex to change their name by default to Lucas.
Lucas, yeah, that's fine. If they'll do that for a Palmo, I'm sure anybody will do anything for a Palmo. But yeah, the Lucas line, I say seeds are sown very well. The forwards are clicking. I say the D. I say Shuggy continued in D at the weekend. I don't know if it was his first fight. We didn't talk about his fighting major in Sheffield. It was a surprise when it was announced. I'm sure it was a surprise to everybody when it was announced. A minor plus a major. But yeah, no, the team, I say after the 4 losses, they're on a 3-game winning streak. We'll see how they go at training. Solihull, they're the top of the table for a reason. So we'll give them all due respect until the puck drops, and then it's game on. So hope we can have a good turnout at the Forum. Say first home game for a couple of weeks. We'll get the fans back in the stands. Sunday, the usual 5:30. Usual things going on the night as well. We'll talk about that with Jono in a second. But yeah, I hope you can join us at the Forum on Sunday. We'll welcome the league leaders. Unusual for it not to be the Billingham team who are top of the table, but we can't have it our way all the time. So join us on Sunday if you can. Anything else on the weekend coming up before we move on to our AOB?
Yeah, Teesside don't have a home and home.
Now let's investigate this carefully. Hang on. Teesside,
Home and home.
play Sheffield away, and then they don't play on Sunday.
No.
So who's not playing on Sunday?
Teesside.
Teesside and who? Hull are playing. We're playing. Blackburn are playing. Telford. No, Telford are playing.
Oh, Widnes, I think.
Yeah. Well, they mustn't have been able to get that one to work in the fixtures meeting.
I'll also point out, because I'm bitter and twisted like that, after all the hoo-ha about Saturday fixtures, Solihull have got a Saturday game on, and it's against Nottingham. Yeah, I mean, honestly, what was the point? That was the whole point of giving the Saturday games over was for teams to have to travel. And this is the second Saturday game that Solihull have given Nottingham.
Which is what, 45 minutes away?
Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah.
That's just me being bitter and twisted because they made us go.
No, the same. It's supposed to be.
Remind me to lock that changing room as well.
Oh yeah, because we've got keys for our changing room, haven't we?
Like the forum have got keys for those changing rooms.
They're just next to the light switches, aren't they?
Which light switches?
Well,
you know.
That's awful fun. You can find the light switch, you can find your key. So that's So Sunday, check your fixture list carefully. But it is Sunday 5:30. Billingham Stars and the Solihull Barons go out at the Forum Ice Arena. You can join us for that, I'm sure. Excuse me. Any other business? Jono, as we have a home game, Jono has a list. Which will save.
Better find his list. I need to find the list. Sorry,
we'll let them get prepared. No, we'll let you get prepared. You may have seen on social media, obviously, last weekend, we held our remembrance tribute before the Nottingham game, which was very well done from the players and the fans. Obviously, it's Remembrance Weekend just gone. On Sunday, we had no game, but our leadership team were at the Cenotaph in Billingham for the town's ceremony, laid a wreath on behalf of the club, which was beautifully done and very well appreciated. Their support, I'm sure the town council appreciate the support as well. So great job from them. And seeing the remembrance stuff from around the country as well at the weekend. It's something, luckily, I've never had to worry about war and going to fight and stuff like that. But it is right that we still remember those who did and paid the ultimate price. So kudos to all the clubs and fans and everybody who do pay their tributes in remembrance. There's no other way to go after that. GB, we mentioned them last week. GB were off to Poland for a tournament with a very developmental GB squad. They played Slovenia, they played Italy, and they played Poland. And although they lost, they put in some great performances. I'm sure Pete Russell's learned a lot about the fringe players that he has coming through the system. And there was a few GB fans out there as well. So a very worthwhile experience. There's another one coming in February, which is in Edinburgh. Games at Murrayfield, which will be an experience for home and away fans and players, I'm sure. Anything on GB stuff?
Yeah, I think when we saw the scoring against Slovenia after, I think it was halfway through the first period, and they were getting beat 3-0. I think everybody feared the worst, but literally from that point on, it got an awful lot better. And I know they lost all three games, but when you look at the stats, they did exceptionally well. And I'm sure there's an awful lot of pride around the camp about how they battled, and it just to show that perhaps when this so-called golden generation skates off into the sunset, perhaps we do have the caliber player coming through that can keep it up. Because obviously we are battling for elite group status every single year. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. And the only way we're going to stay and hang around is by having players coming through and giving them a chance, which is what we did. So
No, I was going to say the Italy result as well, taking Italy to overtime, who've got not all of their full squad, but they had the majority of their full squad who are heading to the Winter Olympics, don't forget. So we took Italy to overtime and we lost to Poland just by the 1-0, I think. So great stuff from GB. I say the next tournament coming up in February in Edinburgh. Are you ready, Jono? Or can we do the next thing first?
Got my list. I've got my list. I've got the
Right.
list. The list is ready.
Okay, Jono's list, and then we've got one more thing to mention before we finish.
Yeah, so first of all, it's getting that time of year where we get those teddy bears up in the air and get them launched. So the teddy bear toss is coming. That'll be at the end of this month on the 30th. So do get your teddy bears if you haven't. I know the Spotters Club are still selling teddy bears. Nice teddy bears. The memberships are still going as well, which gets you your discount at Thor's, who is pretty much there at every home game. So do get your membership still. We have our Christmas raffle with a £300 top prize, which is quite impressive because it was only £100 last year, I think, or £50, something like that. I can't remember. It was 100 last year, so we have up that considerably. So do get your Christmas raffle tickets. Even if you're just not at the game and you want to get some sorted, or even if you want to sell some on our behalf, it would be much appreciated. So get in touch on the socials for that one. We have our merchandise as well: coasters, mugs, baby bibs, sockies, which are in red, black, and white. Our mini jerseys, man of the matches, puck drops, own and loans, all of it. And I think there may be some new things coming as well. So do keep an eye on the socials for that, because I'm pretty sure there is another item coming as well. Pretty sure there is for Christmas.
Fantastic. So that teddy bear toss Sunday the 30th. Billingham are playing the Sheffield Scimitars. Get your toys and teddies ready to go for that one. I'll let I've forgotten his name, Mr. Roachford. I'll let him know the usual licensing fees will apply. Andrew, as we call him, Andrew Roachford,
friend of the show.
First name terms. We'll get him queued up for that Sunday as well. And great stuff from the supporters club, as always. The last other thing we were going to mention, we don't talk about it very much, and I definitely don't talk about it very much because I'm a Toronto fan. The NHL. This is looking in Carol's department for her Washington Capitals. Alex Ovechkin did get his 900th goal. It sounds ridiculous saying it, but he's got his 900th NHL goal. Also played his 1500th game as well. So the milestones keep on coming, even if the time appears to be running out for Ovi in Washington. Carol?
Yeah, I still get a real gut feeling that this is the last season for Ovi. But goodness, he's going to have some records where by the time he leaves, isn't he? And that 900th goal, just to add insult to injury, was a cheeky one. No look backhander, and just really funny to watch. Not in his usual office, as they say, but he's going to leave. If it's season, it's going to be soon, isn't it? So he's going to leave nothing but good memories and lots of records for other people to chase at this point. So yeah, good on him. 900 goals is just it's mind-boggling, really. You do wonder if anybody will ever get close to that. They probably will. Records are there to be broken. You know, everybody said nobody'd get past Gretzky, and they did. So but for now, 900 goals, that's some achievement. And I don't think we've got long left of Ovechkin, but let's enjoy him while we can.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was funny as well watching in one of the most televised sports in the world. Jordan Binnington thought he could get away with hiding the 900th goal puck down his shorts.
I was on eBay. As soon as he put it in his pocket, I was on eBay ready. But obviously, the referee came, asked him, come and knocked on his shoulder and said, "Can we have the puck, please?" And obviously, he tried to play a little daft and go, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, Queenie, who's got the ball? Yeah. Oh, hang on. There you go. All right. Yeah, but no, great stuff from Ovi. I know we made our NHL picks at the start of the year. We'll review those later in the season if we feel like it. Depends on how things are going.
Depends how rubbish they look.
Yeah,
I mean, the Avalanche beat the Oilers 9-1 at the weekend. It ain't looking good.
well, that was my only highlight of the weekend. As my team conspired to spill two goal leads Saturday and Sunday.
But didn't you pick Montreal as your dark horses, though? They're doing all right.
Montreal are doing, Kenny,
Yeah,
which is even better as a Leafs fan, isn't it? Yeah. What do we know about the NHL anyway? But yeah, well done, Ovi, and follow along for more great NHL content later in the season. If there's anything else that we've missed, any other business? Nothing that I can think of.
No,
I think so.
all quiet really around everywhere else.
Yeah, I miss that stick to the pod guy with his rumors and he's oh, this is happening and he's gone quiet.
The pod guy is very, very busy.
It's almost as if he's gone kind of a bit too mainstream and can't do that anymore.
Yeah, well, no, we don't know. Maybe I'm talking to a few people about a few things, so we'll see. It might have to resurface. Might do a Christmas special. You never know.
You need to speak to Dangle and hire Smart Insider Man and just feed him stuff.
Yes, that's what I probably need. Yeah,
that was his Smart Insider Man. Was his stooge for all these rumors. Anyway, thank you both for your input as always. Great chat for all things Big Red Machine and the wider NIHL. As we say, 2 games for the Billingham Stars away at Hull on Saturday, 5:30. Chipspice.com. If you haven't been to Hull, the arena's lovely, and you've got to have chip spice. That is the law.
Oh, and there's a good pub down the road. If you've never been to Hull, go to the Whittington and Cat. Sorry, I will get the proper Sunday name in for that pub. Whittington
and Cat. Brackets D&P. And it's still got the hockey related owner as well, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's a proper hockey pub. So get yourself down to Hull on Saturday if you're looking for a hockey fix. And
he's a D-man, actually. I wonder if he's available. He's a D-man, actually. I wonder if he's available.
Well, if the Stars fans all go to the pub, put a shed load of money behind the bar, he might then think about it.
He must be somewhere. He was too good.
He must be. Can't believe he's not playing.
I'll have a quick look now on Elite Prospects.
Oh, look at this. This is live player sourcing as we speak.
Smart Insider Man.
I'm trying to think how his first name will be on there.
This rumor's a 7. You what?
Has he found him?
I was wondering how his first name will be listed.
This is making great telly.
Yeah,
I know.
Right. Well, John does that. I'll remind you. Sunday, 5:30 at the Forum Ice Arena. Billingham Stars versus the Solihull Barons. Good seats still available. Full light show and all that jazz. For the pre-game entrance. Hope you can join us along for that one. Thanks to Carol. Thanks to John. Thanks to everybody who continues to watch along or listen along. Send us comments. We're still getting comments about the last couple of interviews as well. The goalie specials we've done the last couple of weeks. Luca in particular went down very well with the audience. So we'll look to continue trying to get the guests on as much as we can. Have you found him, Jono?
Yeah, he stopped playing in 22-23.
Oh, so he's available?
Yep.
Right.
There you go.
We'll relay that information to our people, to their people, and put the people in touch. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you do like what we're doing, give us even if you don't, just still give us a review.
Grumpy Northerners, remember.
A rating, a review. Share it on your social media wherever you can. It would be much, much appreciated. We'll see you at the games this weekend. And we'll definitely see you next week for some more talk here on STARCAST.
Thank you for watching and listening to STARCAST. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.